Hi, welcome and welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Let's talk about narcissists and texting. Narcissists love to text, and there are a variety of reasons for that. One that I thought of is that it can allow either a covert or grandiose narcissist to present in a more covert way, to keep quiet or keep a low profile or stay hidden while they still communicate with you or draw you in or manipulate you emotionally, push buttons, get information from you. I thought of several things that you should be on the lookout for that may help you to determine whether or not you are communicating with someone who's narcissistic or toxic, or maybe even someone who's conning, scamming, or trying to manipulate you in that way. You might think of some other things. If you do, share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear, and it may help someone else. One thing to be aware of when it comes to narcissists and texting is that the text messages may be very lengthy, and or they may come at you in rapid fire succession, one after the other. Hello, love bomb. Also, that may also allow the narcissist to overwhelm you with a lot of information or a lot of details to kind of keep things chaotic and confusing and overwhelming to where it makes it more difficult for you to process the information you're receiving and discern what's going on and be able to tell what's factual, fictitious, what's really going on. And also to take a step back and look at the macro and get an idea of what's happening. As a side note, I wanted to add that context is everything. So you want to look at things in context, and as I've mentioned previously, you're looking for a pattern over time. Another point that I wanted to make about narcissists and texting is that they may use text messaging to send documentation or to get validation from you. And this could include, hey, look at what I'm doing. I mentioned this previously about the alleged murderer. He would send set photos and little screenshots of deals that his attorney was sealing for him as a form of documentation, but in order to receive validation for the things that he was doing and accomplishing, allegedly. Another way that narcissists may use texting is to be able to ghost you without being really in your face with it. It's easy to rationalize or justify, say, just disappearing and all of a sudden not talking to someone, not communicating with someone when you're texting back and forth. Oh, my phone fell in the toilet. Oh, the kids had a soccer game, or someone had to be picked up, or my phone died, or whatever the case is. You don't know what's going on. It can be a way to pull back and to leave you hanging. The alleged murderer did this with me in Los Angeles, where I shot him a text message or asked a question, and after a while, because I had called him out on a lie, refused to be a flying monkey for him, he just ghosted me. He stopped all communication. And that's easy to do when you're not face-to-face with someone. Another way that I thought of that narcissists can use text messaging is for intimidation tactics. You may be on a group chat where someone, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be an acquaintance, it could be a romantic interest, where they might use text messaging to say something intimidating that they wouldn't dare say to your face to get you to fall in line. And it could be anything. The narcissist may triangulate you with someone else and maybe discard the other person, just to show you, hey, this could happen to you too if you don't fall in line and do as I say to do or do as I want you to do. Another thing to note about narcissists and texting is that the narcissist may do a little cutting and pasting and engineer the text message in that way. The alleged murderer did this. A lot of those text messages that were supposedly from his attorney or supposedly deals that were being closed were cut and paste jobs, and they were engineered to make it look like he had all this stuff going on. And they were literally just a chop job and sent in an effort to get attention, praise, adoration, validation, but really it was fake. Also, as I mentioned in a previous video, the narcissist may use text messaging as a way to fish for supply. And I mentioned a grandiose female narcissist who did this, and this was part of her routine. Getting up in the morning, getting on the phone, text messaging a bunch of people across the country, and then send, and then everyone across the country that's on the text message gets this generic message of, how are you? Praying for you, thinking of you, no name mentioned, nothing specific, just very blah, very generic. And I found out later, got confirmation from her now ex-husband that that's exactly what was going on. So it was literally a fishing expedition for attention, supply, reactions, praise, anything. And when you're texting, you can cast the net wide. It's harder to do that one-on-one, in person, face-to-face, but through text messaging, even email for that matter, and she did that too. You can cast the net wide to a ton of people and then just kick back and wait for all the responses and reactions to flood in. Finally, narcissists can use text messaging as a way to have conversations that really are best dealt with in person. I mentioned this before with the grandiose female narcissist in a previous video, that after I went no contact, she tried to hoover me back in and reached out to me while I was visiting a friend and attending a performance and sent me this text message. Hey, I reached out to you, hadn't heard anything back, never ever ever got a response back, and happy holidays and all this kind of stuff. When really the truth was, I had actually tried to get together with her. I had offered her many opportunities and tried to pin her down, couldn't seem to do it. And once I distanced myself from the relationship by going no contact and just cutting off communication with her, and she came after me with the text message, not a personal phone call, but a text message to have a conversation with me or to express something to me that, hello, like, you don't just text somebody like, oh, you know, you didn't respond to me and blah, blah, blah. That's a conversation. Come on. That's a conversation that you have with someone face to face. Hey, I haven't heard from you in a while, or hey, it really hurt my feelings when you blah, 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 blah. These are conversations that are best had person to person, directly, right? She puts this on a text message and just shoots it out to me and just kind of puts it in my face. But I think that was the point. The point was for me to get that shock value of like, oh my God, and to react and to hit her back up, break no contact, and get sucked back into her drama and mess. And I just wasn't willing to do it. So I let it go. I literally let the text go. I just let it fly. I ignored it. And that was the end of that. And she didn't text me again after that. I thought, this is not worthy of a response. This is ridiculous. And it was just so blatantly obvious at that point, because I had gotten other validation of who and what I was dealing with, that this was just an attempt to hook me back in. And I wasn't falling for it. Narcissists will use text messaging for a variety of reasons and in various ways. It could be validation, attention seeking, intimidation tactics, a con, form of manipulation, triangulation with someone else, aka group chat, or to just air out their emotions and get you to coddle them emotionally. Either way, the narcissist will use text messaging in some way, shape, or form to get their needs met by you or by someone else. When you do your due diligence and you determine who and what you're dealing with, then you can make a determination as to whether or not you need to respond, and or if you want to continue to communicate with whoever it is going forward. Either way, you should prioritize taking care of yourself and taking care of your health, mind, body, and spirit. And that includes who you deal with. You're not alone, and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.